What's going on, guys, and welcome to module 2 here in the course. What we're going to cover today is the importance of your cover letter and what to include in your cover letter, what to write. And this is very similar to your profile. There's no right and there's no wrong things to do here. There's just a few techniques that you guys need to incorporate, and if you incorporate these, it's going to improve your response rate from clients, all right? By not improving these, doesn't mean you're never going to get a job. No, it literally is just a numbers game. You could have the worst cover letter in the world, but as long as you consistently apply, and you did so for months on end, you'd get a client. But by using these sort of like little marketing techniques and little techniques that I found work really well over my year of doing this, then hopefully it will help you get some better replies. Now, I'm not going to sit here and show you my exact cover letter, because if everyone who joins covers that, everyone's going to have the same cover letter, and that's just not going to go down well. And another thing, there's no right or wrong answer. I don't want to sit here and write one out for you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the structure, right? I've got it here on screen now, and that is the structure for what you want to be in your cover letter. Now, before we cover these, I want to make one thing very, very clear. Very, very, very clear. Well, I want to make a few things very clear, actually. Number one, an 80-20 principle, Pareto's law. 20% of your efforts lead to 80% of your results. So, you do not, popular to misbelief, want to sit there and write a unique cover letter for every single job you apply for. How long is that going to take you? Flipping hours. Let's say there's, you apply for 10 to 15 jobs a day and you write 10 to 15 unique cover letters. It's going to take you, 5 minutes a cover letter. It's going to take you way too long to do that. Right, way too long, and the additional results that you get back from it aren't going to be worth it. I'm all about minimum input, maximum output. You want to create a cover letter which you can literally copy and paste. However, you do not want it to be generic crap. You don't want it to just sound copy and pasted, because the second it sounds copy and pasted, people aren't going to take you seriously. And there's a few things we can do to change that. And of course, there's a few things that we want to make the cover letter, because you're going to be applying for pretty much the same job every time, the same type of job, social media management, social media marketing. The cover letter's literally going to be almost identical every single time you apply. So what I want you to do after this call, after you watch this video, go away, use these principles, write your cover letter, and you know what? Over time, change things, split test, try a cover letter for a week, take note of how many replies you get. The next week, use a different cover letter, take note of how many replies you get, and just try. That's what I've done with mine. Mine works really well now, and I get a lot of replies. Right, now that bit's out of the way, let's jump into the goodness. Let's actually jump into what you should include in your cover letter. So just to make one thing clear, it should be quite obvious, but if you don't know, the cover letter is what you use every time you apply for a job. You submit a cover letter, all right? Every single time that you apply. So you want to make sure that it's good, because this is the first impression. Even before they see your profile, this is actually going to be the first impression they get of you. So it's quite important that you get this right. Don't spend too long faffing about. Execution is the most important part, but just make sure it's good. And if you use the key principles that we're going to talk about now, you'll have no issue whatsoever. So, number one, the first line of your cover letter, all right? You want to make sure it grabs attention. And I just want to make one more thing clear. Don't write like a 10-line paragraph as your cover letter. Space it out. Make it nice and even. One paragraph, two, nice and easy to read. That's what you want. They also don't need to be 5,000 words long. These businesses have got a load of different people, a load of different cover letters to want to go through. They want something that's long enough, but short enough so they can just shoot through it, see what's included. Right, is he a good fit? And that's what they want, all right? Anyway, number one, first line, you want to grab attention. Why is this? I've hired freelancers before on Upwork, my outsourcers. And when you hire people and you put out a job posting, your freelancers, the freelancers who apply, show up in just one big line. And all you can see is their name, their hourly rate, and the first line of their cover letter. That's all you see on first glance. That's all you see. So what you want is to make sure your first line grabs attention. Now, most people just put things like hello, or hi, or my name's Brad, I'm applying for this job. Don't do that generic stuff. If you want to stand out, grab attention, right? Grab attention. Now, how can you do this? Capitalize the first line of your description. Put something out there. Say something like, you need to hire me, ... And then people will be like, right. And then they'll click on it, and then they'll go down, and then you can put hello on the second line. It just grabs attention. It grabs attention. Why do I need to hire you? They might be thinking. All right? It's leading. That's what you want. Use asterisks. Use capital letters. Use emojis in the first line of your cover letter. I don't know if that works. Try it. Anything that grabs attention, put that in your first line. Now, don't be spamming and put like, hire me now. Or like, I mean, you could put that, but just don't put like, don't be too aggressive with it. And don't be too spammy with it. But just put it like so it grabs attention. This also works as well because you're different to everyone else. You're showing that you're different. You're not just another generic hello. All right? You stand out amongst the other people who are applying for this job, and that's very important. Number 2, second line. You just want to say hello or hi or hey or introduce yourself in the first line of the cover letter. Literally just something like hello. Now, the reason I've put this in there, I know that's very basic, but I've added here, address using the name if possible. Sometimes in the descriptions, they'll end off the job description that you apply for with like, thank you for, if you're interested in this job, please apply. Thanks, John. Right? If you can see that they've ended it off with a name, address the cover letter to that name. Another really good technique is look down through the reviews and the previous work history of the business. Like when you're applying for the job, if you scroll down to the bottom, it will show you like their previous freelancer reviews and stuff. Sometimes freelancers will say things like, it was a pleasure to work with John. It was a pleasure to work with Abigail. It was a pleasure to work with Brian. All right. If they say that, that means that that's their name. So this shows that you've got attention to detail, and it also makes it seem like your cover letter just isn't copy and pasted. And if you've ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People, simply addressing people by their name is very powerful in getting people to like you. So you can't always do this, but it's just something to take note on. It always helps, and I always get people mention that to me, like, oh, thank you for, using my name. You're the only person who've done that. I've literally had people who hired me before, even when I had no experience, just because I used the name of their company when I introduced. I put, hello, the name of the company, and then introduce it from then. So if you don't have their proper name, introduce it the name of the company. It shows that you pay some attention. Right, from here, you need to explain why you're going to be a good fit for the job, right? Like I said earlier, every single job that you apply for, it's pretty much going to be the same type of job. Social media management, social media marketing. This means when you're explaining you're a good fit for that job, that's literally going to be generic for every single job you apply for, give or take a couple, right? So you want to write just a very short, maybe 2 little paragraphs, 2 3-line paragraphs saying why you're a good fit for your job, your previous experience, why you think you'll be able to help them. Just do that. I can't sit here and tell you what that is. Just whatever experience you've got. If you don't have any experience, just explain why you know that you're going to be a good fit. Just use things like you're very familiar with the social media space. You live and breathe social media. You always stay ahead of the curve. That type of stuff. If you don't have any previous experience, just sort of bullcrap your way through it a little bit and just, a bit like CVs when you apply for jobs like online, right? Your resume and stuff like that. You always say, I'm a good team player. I use my initiative, all that type of stuff. This is what this is. You're just applying for jobs like you would in the normal job world, except these are all done freelance, which is what you've got to bear in mind. I've also put here in brackets, generic, but you can always change from job to job if need be. So you want to use this as a skeleton. Obviously, if you're just applying for a Facebook ads job, it might be slightly different to if you're just applying for a social media management job. So use this as a skeleton. It only takes 2 seconds for you to go in and change a few words around if need be, specific to the job, if you need to. But most of the time, you want to make it as generic as possible without it sounding copy and pasted. And you can do that by, like I said, grabbing the attention at the top, saying hello, using their name, explaining why you're a good fit for the job. And then number 4, add any questions they put in the job description. They don't always put questions in the job description. Sometimes they do things called screening questions, which are at the bottom. We're going to get onto them in a later video in the course. But for now, if they actually ask you questions within the job description, things like, can you show previous examples of work, or can you take a look at our social media and give us a few recommendations? If they ask those questions, 90% of the time from my experience, they don't. But if they do, include this part underneath why you've already explained that you're a good fit for the job. And another thing to bear in mind here is sometimes people will say, like, I'm looking for people experienced in, or if you're experienced in social media management for restaurants, that's going to be a big help. So what I also recommend doing, if they say things like that, just include it in this part. Put that, you've worked with restaurants before, like add this bit in. This is where it goes from being copy and pasted to being a bit more specific to that job. But a lot of the time it is just a copy and paste type thing. So answer any questions. Number 5, ask good questions. This is without a doubt the most important part of the whole cover letter. When I started asking questions in my cover letter, it increased the amount of clients I got overnight. Literally, the amount of replies and responses and new clients I got were just probably like doubled or tripled just from asking these questions. And you might be thinking like, look, how does that work? What questions do I ask? Why? Let me explain. The way Upwork works, or any type of freelance job, is you apply for that job. Now, in order for you to have a conversation with that business owner and for you to set up a call or start up a conversation, the business owner, the person who's got that job posting, needs to reach out to you and reply to your cover letter first. If not, you're never going to be able to speak to them in DMs, in private messages. You just can't happen. That business needs to be the one to open up the conversation. By you asking questions in your cover letter, you're basically leading him to send you a reply. What this means is you can get them on a call and you can start building rapport with them, which is so powerful. You no longer become just a cover letter. You become a person behind that cover letter. It's a lot easier to close them. It's a lot easier to sell them. It's a lot easier to persuade them, get them on a call, build up some rapport, right? That can only happen once you've got a reply. Asking questions is so important for this. And you might be thinking, what type of questions? Let me give you a good few examples. Now, bear in mind they haven't already answered these questions in the job description, because those you just show that you don't pay attention. But 2 questions I really like to ask, well, 3 questions I really like to ask, and I use them all the time, is, can you please send me the links to your social media pages? This shows that you're interested. You want to find out what kind of pages you're going to be managing, but really what you're wanting is them to send you through the links so you can actually open up a conversation. Another one very similar to that, can you send me the link to your website? Another one, a good one, is can you tell me a little bit more about your business? Super, super powerful. And then one of my favourite ones, which is so simple, but it's just powerful, man. How soon are you looking to get started? That one's a great one because it shows that you're ready to get started ASAP. You're leading him to say, like, look, I'm ready to go when you are. But you're also asking him how soon he wants to get started. He'll reply, next week. You've opened up a conversation. All right, you see what I'm saying? So that part, point number 5, is without a doubt the most important part of your cover letter. And then from then, you go on to end the cover letter and just say, I look forward to hearing your reply. Can't wait to help you. Kind regards, Brad Riley. All right? Very, very simple. I want you to go away after this now. Don't be one of those people that procrastinate and you go through the whole course and then you sort of forget what you've learned. Take this in mind. Take a screenshot right now of this thing that's on the screen, the top 6 points, and go away, write your cover letter before you move on to the next part. It's super important because before we can apply for any jobs, you want to make sure you get this right, just because it's going to increase the amount of replies you get. And like I said, don't spend hours and hours and hours on this. Don't fluff too much about it, but just take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, nail this down, make it good, make it persuasive, use these points that I've got, add in some more things if you want to, whatever you think's good, but just make sure it's well spaced out. It's not just a ton of stuff. It doesn't sound too generic. All right. And one thing you want to do, super important, copy this once you've created it, paste it into a Word document. I love Evernote. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I use it everywhere. So, paste it into Evernote, paste it into a Word document, a Google Doc, paste it into the notes on your phone, whatever you want to do, keep a copy of it and paste it, because, in the next videos that we're going to hop onto when it comes to applying for jobs, you want it to be as easy as possible, as replicatable as possible. So when you do this day in, day out, you can copy, paste, submit, copy, paste, submit. Change a few things here and there, but just saves you so much time, especially when you're going to be doing this every day. Anyway, guys, I hope that helped you. Super important video in the course. Go away now, nail that down, write out this, and we can move on to the next one and start taking some proper action now. These next parts are where we're going to get into applying for the jobs, and this is going to be the juicy bit. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome back here today to a brand new video in the course. Right, this is where the juicy bit begins. This is where we are going to start applying for jobs. and I'm going to show you how to apply for jobs, what jobs to apply for, and what to look for. Just want to put it out there though. Like I keep saying with this, there's no right or wrong answer to this. Every single job that people put out there is different. There's no one way to apply for jobs, right? But there's just a few things to look for when applying for them to know whether or not it's going to be a good fit for you, whether or not you should apply for it. And I'm just going to quickly show you how to apply for it and what kind of jobs to look for and how to do all that good stuff. So this should be quite an interesting one, especially if you're new to the platform. So I'm logged inside of my freelancer account currently. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of messages. I've got some new, there's 3 new clients offering me jobs, which I just haven't accepted yet. Business is going crazy. So, if you follow these techniques in the course, this can be you as well. Right. So if you're completely new to Upwork, follow this, take note of this. I know it seems basic now, but trust me, there's a few key points. It's just a few nuggets that you need to take away from this that are really important. So when you're inside your freelancer account, this is what you'll see, right? Hopefully by now you've written your cover letter, you've set up your profile to a good standard, to the best you can, and you're ready to start applying for jobs. So how do you go about that? In the top right hand corner here, it will say find jobs. Now this is where you search your key terms, your keywords. What kind of jobs are you looking for? Well, in our case, we're going to be looking for social media management. Now, if you guys want to look for social media marketing jobs, you can search that. If you want to be more generic and not limit yourself at all, you can literally search social media. One thing to mention though, social media is quite a generic term, so you get a load of other stuff which isn't really relevant to social media management and that, because it is such a generic term. It could be things like, I need someone to edit videos for social media. Once, guys, I actually saw someone say, I think my boyfriend's cheating on me. I need someone to hack into his social media. I was like, I definitely can't do that. So it's quite a generic term. It's quite good, but I recommend just searching either social media management, social media manager, social media marketing, terms like that. So what you do is you search. Now, just to show the power to you guys right now, I want to show you how regular jobs are posted. 16 minutes ago, 19 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, 35 minutes ago, 40 minutes, 44, an hour, 1 hour, right? This isn't even a busy time of day for people to post. This is 9 AM in the morning. When you get towards the evening, 5, 6 o'clock, when America start to wake up, I'm talking like 5, 6 PM UK time, 9, 10 AM in America, it's even more busy than this. So this is the power of just how many jobs are out there. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer here, but I'm just going to try and teach you how to do this and what to look for. When you get to, after doing this for a while, day in, day out, you're going to get to a stage where you can literally, like I do now, I scroll down like this and I'm just able to see what jobs are a good fit straight away, right? I'm literally able to go like that and think that's a good fit. Click. That's a good fit, right? And you'll get there. Don't overthink this. If you're unsure, just apply for a job. But here are the key things that you want to know. So, what kind of things do you want to be looking for? You want to look for key terms in the title. Social media marketer, social media manager, social media management, social media posting. If you want to do Facebook ads, things like Facebook marketing, you want to look for those type of things in the title. Things like this one, manage my Instagram, perfect title, right? So let's have a look here. I need a social media manager. Now what I'll do here is I'll look at the title and I'll take a brief little look here at the description. I'm not going to look into it in too much detail because I just want this to be a quick process. And if I think it is a good fit, that looks like a job I can do, I'll right click and I'll open it up in a new tab and I'll come back in a minute and look at it in further detail. So let's keep going. Okay, looking for someone to manage my Instagram. This looks like something we could do. I'm not going to look into it in too much detail. We'll just open it in a new tab. Tell me everything about digital marketing. That wouldn't be a job I'd want to do. But if you want to get into some consultation and teach people about marketing, that might be something you want to do. Not for me. Dubai-based photographer, that's not something we're looking for. Looking for a content writer, not really for us. Social media, this looks good. We're looking for someone to manage social media for our California weight loss clinic. Perfect. We'll open that in a new tab. All right, you get the point. Ignore stuff that's like crappy stuff in the title. Look for social media manager, social media marketing, and that stuff in the title. Check the description to see if it's something you can do. Don't look into it too much, and then open it in a new tab. Why do you want to do this? Well, you want to streamline and automate things as much as possible. It's a lot quicker to scroll all the way down, open job in a new tab, scroll down, open in a new tab, page 2. Scroll down, open in a new tab, scroll down, open in a new tab. Then it is, right, scroll down, open, apply, look again. Open, apply, look again. You get what I'm saying? It's just a lot quicker doing it one thing at a time. Open up the jobs you want to apply for, go through them, see if they're a good fit, and then apply. It just works better. So, let's say we've gone through now and we've taken a look. We've opened up some new jobs that we can apply for. Let's take a look here and dive a bit deeper and see if this is something that we can do and if it's worth us applying for. Every single description is different. Every single job is different on here. So what you're going to have to do is read through the job description. If you think it's a job you can do, perfect, you can move forward. If you don't, literally go up to the cross, close it down. There's other jobs you can do. If you're unsure, you think it says about ClickFunnels and you don't know how to do that, don't overpromise and underdeliver. You're going to get crappy results on your profile. There's enough jobs out there, trust me. All right. So if you think it's a job that you can do, then you can feel like, okay, this is a good fit. We'll keep this open. Now, what to look for before you actually go up here and click submit that proposal. Here, you have a choice, right? There's going to be entry level, intermediate level, or expert level. That are your 3 options of jobs. Normally and generally, you want to be looking for jobs that are intermediate and expert level because these are going to be the people that are willing to pay a little bit more for your services, and that's what you want, all right? So if it's an intermediate or an expert level job, whatever your rate is, we're going to get onto price in a later video on how to price your services, but around usually, and we're going to get into why later, like I said, in the pricing section of this course, but for now, around the intermediate and expert level jobs, you want to apply somewhere between, you know, $12 up to like $30 an hour between intermediate and expert level, right? That's the type of thing you want to go for. If you have entry level jobs, I'm not saying don't apply for them, but 90% of the time these entry level jobs, you get people that want something for nothing. They're looking for freelancers that live in Philippines, India, Brazil, places like that, and they want just something doing for $3 an hour most of the time. Now, not all of the time, but most of the time that is the case. So I recommend ignoring some of the entry level jobs once you've got your first few clients. However, when you haven't got your when you're looking for your first client, what I recommend doing is actually still applying for entry level jobs, but just lowering your hourly rate to something like $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 an hour. Because what this means is you're able to get yourself through the door, and you might be able to get a client at a lower rate just to help build up your profile, and then from then you can get yourself a nice review, build up some hours on your profile. It's going to be easier for you to get these higher paying clients moving down the line. And when I say hourly rate, $5, $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour, don't worry, you're not going to be actually working hourly. This is literally just a gateway to get people in. That's the only thing they see at first glance is your name and your hourly rate, right? And then your cover letter. So you do need an hourly rate, but don't worry, we're not going to be working hourly. So when I'm saying $5 an hour, don't stress and say, that's lower than what I'm earning now. Don't worry. Just don't worry. This isn't about pricing. We're getting onto that in a later video. Anyway, what else to look for? Over here on the right-hand side, let me see if any of these have it. Okay, so I've picked 3 bad clients. Let me just open up another one for you to see. Okay, this one has it. So, over here on the right-hand side, reviews. You can see the reviews of the client. Never, ever, ever work with a client that've got 1-star, 2-star, 3-star reviews, because these are reviews that, excuse me, previous freelancers have given them. Why would they have given them bad reviews? They expect too much. They're a nightmare to work with. They give you really short deadlines. They're just not a nice person. All right? Do not, even if the money seems appetizing to you at first, trust me, I learned the hard way by working with these 1-star, 2-star clients. It only ended badly. All right? I spent days pulling my hair out for clients because they were nightmares and expecting so much, and they're rude. All right? If there's ever 1-star, 2-star, 3-star reviews, just ignore it. On to the next one. There's enough jobs out there. Do not work with clients that have got 1, 2, 3-star reviews. If they've got 5-star reviews, fantastic. It means they're great to work with. Another thing to look at here, it says they've got 18 reviews. If you scroll down to the bottom, actually, you can see the kind of reviews that they've been given. They've got 68 people they've worked with. You can see all of these 5-star reviews, 5-star reviews, 5-star reviews. And another thing that's really important to note here. These are the reviews that they've been given, under here are the reviews that they give to freelancers. This is also super important because if they're getting 5-star reviews, they might be nice on the surface, but if they're giving all their freelancers 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star reviews, 4-star's not too bad, but 1, 2, 3-star especially, if they're giving freelancers that, they're probably quite harsh when it comes to ending out the contract and their expectations. And you do not, at any cost, want to work with someone who's going to give you a crappy review of your Upwork profile. It's going to limit and completely crush your chances of getting future jobs. So be very careful with that. Take a look. Now here, they give literally every single one of their freelancers, they give 5 stars. That means if you work with them and you meet expectations and you do a half decent job, they're probably going to give you a 5-star review as well. And that is important. Never take a job for short-term money if it means you're going to get a crappy review, because long term you're going to lose out on a ton of money, because it's going to mean you're going to not be able to get clients as easy. You're going to miss out on opportunities because people are going to see your bad reviews and things like that. And little did they know it was just the client being high maintenance, right? If that makes sense. So what else to look for here? Average hourly rate is another thing to look at. Now, this is $4 an hour, the average that he pays someone. $4 an hour. If you go in with a job at $15, $20 an hour, do you think he's going to want to pay you that? Realistically, no. By the looks of it, this guy pays the average person $4 an hour. Probably some are lower, some are a little bit higher. But $15, $20 an hour is probably a bit out of his range, all right? If that's the average he pays someone, he's probably not going to be willing to work with you. Just skip it. Let's see if there's any other good examples here of people that... let's look at find some people reviews. Let's look at him. See what the average hourly rate he pays. Okay, so this guy's a little bit higher. The average he pays someone's $8.81. That's not too bad, to be fair, considering, you know, they've worked 183 hours. $8 an average. That could mean, yeah, some people work for him at 3, some people work for him at 15. I would apply for a job that's got an average hourly rate of 8 an hour. It's when it goes down to things like $5, $4, $3, $2 an hour average hourly rate. Just don't even apply, because they're not going to consider working for you when your rate's quite a bit higher than that. Especially when you're coming in saying, like, you know, $1,000 a month, $500 a month. It's just going to be a no-go for them. So look for people who have got high average hourly rates. The higher the average, the better, because they're definitely going to be willing to pay you what you're looking for. All right. That's pretty much all that's super important, to be completely honest with you. Everything else, just take it as it comes. You know, take a look here. You can see how many people have submitted proposals. You can see how many people that they're currently interviewing. You know, this is important, because if they're currently interviewing like 10 people, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to get the job. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't apply for it, right? It doesn't mean you shouldn't apply for it. These are all things that you can look at. When you actually get the professional plan, which I recommend you do, you can see the average hourly rate that people have applied at. That's also quite helpful, because it gives you a ballpark figure to know who you're going up against. Should you lower your rate? Should you increase your rate because the average is higher or lower? All things to bear in mind. Again, you know, like I said, you've got the reviews here. But don't overthink the rest. As long as, you know, the average hourly rate's quite good, as long as they've got good 5-star reviews and the job in the job description is something you can do, it's literally as simple as clicking Submit Proposal. What you want to do is copy the cover letter, you know, go into your Word document, copy it, paste it in here, and scroll down and click Submit Proposal. As simple as that. You've applied for a job that's a warm lead. It's a job you can do, and it's just a waiting game to see if they reply to you. And that is literally the whole application process and what to look for. Like I mentioned here, you know, I can quickly go through a few things. These guys have spent $10,000 currently on Upwork. They spent $10,000, which means they've spent a lot of money. The more money a business has spent on Upwork, the more money they're probably bringing in, which means it's a larger company. They're profitable. They're making money. That's another thing to bear in mind. You know, I've literally seen people before like £1 million plus spent on Upwork, which is madness. If they've spent £1 million on Upwork, they're definitely a lot larger than a 7-figure business. They're probably an 8 or 9-figure business if they've spent £1 million on Upwork. All right, bear that in mind. It's not super important. You shouldn't not apply for a job because they haven't got a lot of money spent on Upwork. No, not at all. But just bear in mind. You know, another thing here. This is where they're based. You know, if some guys from like Australia or UK, US, you probably know they're going to be able to afford to pay you a little bit more. If they're hiring out of India, where the cost of living's less, they pay people, the wages they pay people even in the country are less. Hiring someone from the US at like or the UK at $15, $20, $25 an hour. I'm not saying they can't do that. It could be a large company and they may be willing to do it. But what I'm saying is most of the time it's going to be a bit of a lower rate. And just bear that in mind. You know, like I said, don't just not apply for it. One more thing. Sometimes within the job descriptions, they'll include how much they're willing to pay you, exactly like these are doing. Proposed pricing is $250. You know, is that something that you want to do for the month? Online marketing for $250? It wouldn't work for me. So what I'd do is go up and I'd click the cross. You know, this one here just says we're looking for someone to manage our California weight loss clinic postings to social media and create innovative marketing. That is literally like the perfect job to apply for, and expert level, and they live in the United States. This is literally like the perfect job to apply for. They're willing to hire people and pay for the highest rates. It's a very simple job that we can do, and they're looking to get started right away, and they live in the US. Submit a proposal right away. Perfect job. Some of the other ones we looked at, the one before, $250, it's a no-go. Now, there is a lot of crap on Upwork. There's a lot of jobs that you don't want to do. Sift through them. Sift through them. Some days you're going to have more jobs that you apply for than others. Some days you're going to have less, right? It's just how it goes. But stay consistent with it, and there'll be no problem you getting a client very, very soon. Anyway, I hope that made sense to you. A few things to look out for in regards to the application process, and that's exactly how you do it. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome back to this video in the course. Today what I want to be speaking to you about is how to get a high response rate from your potential clients. So you've applied for these jobs, how do you get a higher response rate? Because the higher response rate you get, the more likely you're able to close the client. Because if they never reply to you and they never respond, you're never going to be able to ever close them as a client, right? So that's where the first part of the sale begins, as soon as you open up conversation. So increasing the rate at which you get replies is very powerful, right? So that's what I want to speak about today. Now, we did cover a little bit of that in another video where I spoke about the things that you can include in your cover letter, the questions that you can ask to open up the replies. So I'm not going to go over that again, but there is a few other things that I really want to go over which are going to be super, super important for you. Now, one thing I haven't spoken about yet, guys, is you've got to be really careful with some of these job applications, because sometimes businesses are clever and they want to weed out all the people who are literally just copy and pasting. So sometimes within these job descriptions, they'll say things like, start your cover letter with the word cheese to show that you've been paying attention. Double check that, read through the job description quickly and properly before you apply for the job, before you actually submit the proposal, and check that that isn't the case, because you've got to be very, very careful, because unless you actually write the word at the top or at the bottom of the proposal, whatever they ask you to do, they're not even going to consider you. They'll literally just delete your application right away and you'll never be considered. This can be good though, because so many people do just copy and paste. So many people miss out when businesses and that actually put this in their job description. And that's good, because that means if you do that, it shows that you've got a good attention to detail, and it narrows down the amount of people that you're up against for that job. You're more likely to get it. So one way to massively increase your response rate is to pay attention to these things, and if they ever say things like, it's always different, but sometimes I've had really weird ones, say the word hello John at the top, or like, no, not hello John, it's bad. Say the word like pizza at the top, or say the word cheese at the top, just to show that you've been paying attention. It's a very good way to get a higher response rate. Another thing that you guys can do, which is super, super important, is to just ask them even more questions. Find out about the job. Ask them about the job at hand. Ask them what's expected. Ask them what's needed. Ask them questions. Even more questions, right? In your cover letter, just ask them a ton of stuff. And another thing that's really powerful, within your cover letter, tell them that you'd be happy to hop on a 20-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute phone call with them, so you can find out more information, learn more about the job, and see if we're a good fit. Saying that you're willing to hop on a phone call is really, really good. And that's also powerful, because if they think, yep, he seems interested, he's even willing to hop on a call, free consultation, let's take that phone call and see if we're a good fit. They take the phone call, you get them on the phone, you use the sales script we speak about later in this course, and they're a lot easier to close. You've built up some rapport, it's way better. And I don't want this video to go on too long. It doesn't need to be too long. It's just, we have covered a lot of stuff in other videos, like the way that the cover letter is pretty much the most important part in getting the response. So do what I said in the cover letter, but these are just a few extra things that you can do to increase that rate. The final thing I'll say is just be creative. Be very creative with it. If you really want a client bad enough in the beginning and you've got all the free time in the world, you need to spend as much time as possible on client acquisition. So if that means going the extra mile in these applications, submitting sample posts without even telling them, you can actually attach, I think, up to 10 attachments. I may have butchered that, it might be 3, it might be 5, but I think it's up to 10 attachments when you submit a proposal. Get some completely free, like do it free of charge, without even telling them. Get some sample posts created, and then in your cover letter write, look, just because I'm really interested in this job, you seem like a perfect fit for what I'm looking for. I've actually submitted some free sample posts of what you could expect from me if we were to work together. Very good. Be more creative. If they've already linked their social media pages in the job description, go away, just get a really quick audit created about what you'll do to improve their social media. No one else is doing this. It's automatic value. I don't recommend doing this once you've got a few clients and it's really easy to apply and get loads of jobs, because once you've built up a portfolio and a profile, it's going to be easier to get replies. And the whole 80-20 rule, 20% of your efforts come from 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. You probably don't need to do that further down the line, but when you're first getting started and you want those replies, go the extra mile. Why are they going to choose you? Think as a business owner. If you're hiring for a job and you've got 20 people, one guy's asked you questions, he's shown that he's interested, he's addressed you by your name that he's found in the feedback part of his profile, right? You've sent sample posts. Compared to everyone else who've just really generic, who would you choose? Because I know who I'd choose, even if there wasn't necessarily the best profile in the world, loads of experience is a really good way to start getting some replies and some responses and actually getting some clients. So I hope that helped you guys. Start applying this right away, improve your response rate and increase the amount of clients you get. It's as simple as that. Hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next one. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to this video in the course. This might possibly be one of the most important, literally quite potentially the most important video in the whole course. Get your notepad out, get a pen out, and if you do this, you will become a successful freelancer, successful agency owner, successful social media manager, marketer, right? If you do this, you will get clients and you will grow very quickly if you do this. I'm going to show you now the quickest way ever to apply for jobs, and literally, oh man, this is just madness, right? You need to do this, and if you're not, then guys, you're basically kicking yourself up the arse and you're losing clients. You need to kick yourself up the arse, sorry, because you're going to be losing clients. Basically, if you know a bit about my story, in my first month I grew pretty quickly, and I plateaued, I grew a little bit over the months to come, until I stumbled upon this strategy I'm going to teach you now, and all this other stuff in the course. Everything sort of fell into place. And I doubled the size of my agency in January 2017, so the month of recording this. I doubled the size of my agency, excuse me, just because of this one technique that I'm about to show you now. And this video is worth the whole price of the course, because by doing this, you're just going to increase the amount of clients you can get. Literally overnight. Alright, and let me show you exactly what that is. Let's jump into it without beating around the bush anymore. So I showed you before in a previous video how to apply for a job. So you want to search your term, right? And I covered this a little bit briefly before. But what you want to do is you want to scroll down and look at the titles, see if they're a good fit. If you feel like the titles are a good fit for you, you can open them up in a new tab. Sift through the ones that aren't a good fit, and then just open up the ones in a new tab that are a good fit. As you can see here, it says posted 1 hour ago. What I normally do, right? What I do is do this every single day as part of a routine in the morning. I apply for jobs. It takes me 30 to 60 minutes a day, but it is, without a doubt, my most important thing in my business. Because by applying for these jobs, I'm reaching out to clients. This is client acquisition. This is an income producing activity. This is so important. I don't care if you have a job. I don't care if you've got school, if you've got college, or even if you miss a day. Back up 2 days. Do this every single day and apply for every single job you can within that 24-hour period that matches the needs or the type of thing that you're looking for. Now, usually it takes up to about page 20, page 30, something like that. And what I'll get to is where I applied for yesterday, if that makes sense, right? So I'm going through, okay, this looks like a good fit, opening a new tab. Yeah, this looks like a good fit, new tab, page 8. And I'll keep going and I'll open them in new tabs. And what I'll do, normally, it depends, but usually it's page 20 to 30. What happens is, I'll get to the jobs that I was applying for yesterday. Now, how do you know this? Don't worry, you don't have to be a mind reader and remember the jobs you applied for. What happens is, underneath here, it will say a little sign and it will say applied. And that means it's a job I've already applied for. So literally, I'll go through, I know it seems tedious, and I'll open these up in a new tab, all these jobs that I think are a good fit, until I get to where I got to the day before. Now, what does this mean? This means I am applying for every single potential client, every single potential job I can do, I am applying for it in a month. Let's say on average, you apply for 10 jobs a day. Over the space of a month, you are going to be applying to 300 potential leads. If 1% of that converts, you're going to get 3 clients. And that's going to be a full-time income for you. Do you see where I'm going with this and why I'm so passionate? Let's say you don't do it every other day though, you just do it once every 2 days. You apply for 150 jobs. Now don't get me wrong, that's still a lot of jobs. However, you can potentially double the amount of clients you get just by doing it every day as opposed to every other day. And you know the law of, compounding interest and stuff, it's the same as that. If you apply for every job every day consistently throughout the whole year, 300 jobs a month times 10, 3,000 jobs. 3,600 potential jobs. Now you're telling me you can't at least land 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 clients out of the year if you apply for 3,600 jobs. Of course you're going to be able to. Even if it took you 3 months to get your first client, you're telling me if you apply for 1,000 jobs, which is just over 3 months of doing this every day, you're not going to get one client. If I told you right now you could quit your job in 3 months if you did this every day, would you do it? Of course you bloody would, guys. Of course you would. So by doing this, and don't sit here and sometimes people don't do this and they say that it doesn't work and it's because they give up early. Do this every day consistently, guys, and you're going to get clients, honestly, right? Anyway, so I'm getting a bit sidetracked now. I'm getting a bit too into this about how, because this is literally the most important thing in your business. And the most important thing in this whole course, this video, and you need to understand this, right? Consistency is key. Consistency is key, right? Anyway, so I keep doing this. Open all the jobs up in new tabs. Go to page 12, page 11. Open up in a new tab. Oops, excuse me. Open up in a new tab. Keep scrolling and get to where I got to yesterday, and it said applied. If you miss a day, do it for 2 days worth. Do it for 2 days worth. All right. So normally what it gets to is I've got tabs all the way across the top of my thing. Right, you can barely see it because it's just so many tabs opened. What I'll do, I'll close down this main one. I'll start to look through. Now we've already covered what to look for and what to apply for in this in the previous video, so I'm not going to go over that now. But see if the job's a good fit for you. If it's a good fit for you, you can submit it. If it's not, close it down. Right? Let's pretend this was the perfect job and I'm going to apply for it. I'd submit proposal. I'd go down. I'd paste in my cover letter. I'd click submit, and then I'd close it down. I'd see if this is a good fit. Okay, this also looks like a good fit. Submit proposal. Go down. Paste. Submit proposal. Close. Okay, this isn't a good fit. Don't spend time beating around the bush. You don't want this to take ages. It's boring enough as it is, but just close it down. Does this look like a good fit? Yes. Submit proposal. All right? And do this every single day consistently. Every single day. Make it part of your routine. Make it part of your morning routine, part of your evening routine. I don't care when you do it. Do it the same time every day consistently. And literally just build that process and make it a habit of yours. It needs to become a habit. For me, it's a habit now. I apply for these jobs every single day. I don't feel like a task. I've just got to get it done. It only takes 30 to 60 minutes, yet those 30 to 60 minutes are more important than anything else you can be doing. I don't care if you people that say they don't have enough time, get up 30 minutes earlier and do this. Go to bed 30 minutes later, do this. Do it during your lunch break. If you work, most businesses, most places now, wherever you work, have Wi-Fi. Take your laptop with you. If you get an hour lunch break, if you're working a full-time job, do it that. If you're self-employed and work from home, you've got absolutely no excuses. I don't care if you work 14-hour days, sleep 30 minutes less. Get this done. If you want it bad enough, you'll apply for it. I know it's tedious, but I've got whole other videos on smart work versus hard work and income producing activities in this course. But literally, don't be one of those guys that like put this off and do all this other stuff. This might be boring, but it's also the most important thing you could ever do for your business. You're going to get all of your clients this way. And just by missing one day, and you're not applying for 10 jobs, imagine if 5 of those clients would have gone with you and they all pay you 500. That's $2.5 grand of potential clients you've missed out from just on not applying for the jobs. Now, a few things I want to touch on now as well is, a lot of people want to say to me, like, how long does it take for an average client to reply to you? And, you know, people might say, oh, I've been doing this all week, I've got no replies. Some people take ages to reply. They want to see all the applications first, and then they want to get back to it. A lot of these people are business owners. They've got businesses to run. Sometimes these things get put on the back burners, and 2 weeks later, you might get a message 3 weeks later. You know, once, it was in December 2017, right? December 2017, I got a message come through from a guy whose job I applied for in June, right? Sometimes people do not reply straight away. This is why, like, getting clients is sometimes like buses. You won't hear anything for ages, right? You apply for jobs consistently for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you won't hear anything. Then all of a sudden you get 10 messages in a day and you get 3 or 4 clients overnight. That's how it works. These job applications, these jobs applications and these replies are like buses, all right? And it's super important that you do this consistently, and you want to make sure you're doing it every day. Build it as part of your routine, right? And that's all I can tell you. But this is without a doubt the most important thing ever. I've got another video in this course about buying Qzx. This isn't what this video is about, but buy Qzx if you have to. Buy Qzx and apply for every single job you can. Do this every morning. You know what? If you go away for the weekend and you miss 2 days, sit there for an hour and a half in the morning instead and apply for all jobs for the past 3 days until you get up to where you were before. Because every single job you apply for, guys, is a new potential client that's going to be willing to pay you loads of money. That's how, in the month of recording this, January 2018, I've landed 10 new clients. February, I'm probably going to land another 10, if not more. And how have I done that? By staying consistent. There's a really good quote by Bruce Lee. I don't want to say it, I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's about consistency, right? And he'd rather have the person who did a push-up every day, you know, 1 push-up a day for 100 days straight, than one guy who did 100 push-ups for 1 day, right? Build that muscle. Build that muscle. Make it part of your routine. Make it become a habit. And if you do that and you stay consistent with it, no matter how boring this is, you will become successful, all right? I don't care if you didn't watch another video in the rest of this course. You could make a full-time income very easily just from what you've learned so far, including this video, all right? This is so powerful. I hope you watch this video over and over again if you need to. And I know this has probably gone on longer than it's need to, and I've waffled a lot. It's because I'm so passionate. I want to really drill this in. I want to repeat it, because I cannot get across the importance of this. Every single day, do it, and you will become a success. All right? I want you guys to be successful. I want you guys to get clients. All right? Anyway, oh, one final thing. It's always going to be harder to get your first client. So, for me now, I can apply for, you know, loads of jobs and I'll get loads of replies. In the beginning, you're going to get less replies than I do. All right, you're going to get less replies because you don't have a built-up profile. As soon as you get clients, the more clients you get, the more experience you get, the more replies you're going to have. So it's a bit like a snowball effect. Client 1's always going to be harder to get than client 10. And then all of a sudden you're going to be in the situation where I am, where I've got 10 new clients this month. I'm speaking to 20, 30 other new potential clients. I can't handle all this new income in business, which is a good problem to have. So if you want that problem, stay consistent with it, and I promise you get there. Thank you so much for watching. Watch this video over and over again. If you take anything away from this whole course, make sure it's this video. Apply it, and you'll become very successful. I promise you that. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back today to a brand new video in the course. Today, very important one. I'm going to be speaking to you about the importance of actually buying Qzx. Now, what are Qzx, you might be wondering? So, on Upwork, every single time that you sign up for a job or submit an application, submit a proposal, what you are actually doing is using up 2 Qzx. So every job you apply for on Upwork is worth 2 Qzx9. Now, when you sign up to an Upwork account, the free version, you get 60 Qzx9 a month, and on the professional one, you get 70 Qzx9 a month. Well, if you put 2 and 2 together, it takes 2 Qzx9 to apply for a job. Essentially, on the professional one, which I would recommend you should be on, well, for a big reason, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, you get 35 job applications a month, which is just over a job a day, which isn't actually that much. Now, if you're just starting out and you have no money to put into Qzx9, don't worry at all, because until about 4 or 5 months into my career as a freelancer and doing this kind of stuff, I didn't even realize you could do this. So I would literally just use up the Qzx9 that I had on a month-to-month basis. But you really, 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 really need to consider, if you've got the money, and even if you're a bit tight, but if you've got the money, investing into buying more Qzx9. Because let me explain this to you. So in previous videos we would have spoken about the importance of making sure every single day you're applying for every job possible. Well, first of all, that's going to use up more Qzx9. But let's do the maths. These jobs that you're applying for are businesses that are actively seeking help. They're actively seeking social media help. So they are warm leads, right? You essentially, and by the way, every time you buy a Qzx9's $1. So for every job you apply for, it's going to cost you an additional $2. You're paying $2, which is about just over £1.50, £1.20, £1.30, something like that, £1.30, about $2. Every single job you apply for that's a warm lead is going to cost you $2. But potentially, that job that you apply for could be a $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000, $2,000 a month client. And you're only paying $2 to submit that proposal. It's almost like a no-brainer. This month alone, I've probably spent anywhere from £100 to £200 on Qzx9, and at the time of filming this, I got 10 new clients this month. If I never ever bought Qzx9, how many clients would I have got? 2, maybe 3. But with buying Qzx9, I've got an additional 7, 8 clients, which is a lot, guys. Now, average client for me is about £500 a month. That's an additional £4,000 or £5,000 a month in revenue into my business, and I've spent £200 to acquire that. Would you do that? Now for me, obviously, I've got a built-up portfolio. I'm not saying that just because you buy Qzx9, you're all of a sudden going to get 10 clients in a month. I'm not saying that. I've got a built-up portfolio. I've been doing this for a while. My profile's good. I'm experienced. But, months and months down the line, when you get a profile as good as mine, or better than mine, you are going to be able to get clients so consistently, over and over and over again, just from paying a little bit extra in these leads. So let me ask you this. If you could pay $2, I'll tell you, no, scrap that. Just say you bought 100 Qzx9, right? So $100 worth, and you applied to 50 jobs. And you got, just say 2% converted. 2%, right? 2% converted to be a client. That would be 1 client for you. Just say that client's $500 a month client, like an average client, $600 a month, and you've spent $100 to acquire them. Would you do it? So you spend $100 up front. In your first month, you've made $600. So you've profited $500 in your first month. And then every single month after that, pure profit for as long as you keep them. It's like a no-brainer, guys. Now, I know some of you can't afford it right now. You can't afford to put all this extra money in it. I used to be in the scarcity mindset, and a lot of you guys are also in the scarcity mindset. You're scared of losing the money putting it in. Like, what if I put money in and I don't get anything from that? Stop it. If I realised you could have done this, and I didn't have that scarcity mindset, 6 months ago, guys, I could literally be making 30, 40, 50 grand a month from Upwork right now. But because I didn't understand this back then, and I was in the scarcity mindset, and I was too afraid to put extra money into Qzx9, I didn't. And now I'm still doing okay for myself, but at the time of recording this, I'm not where I could be because of that. Do not be me. Don't make that mistake. Keep consistently buying Qzx9 whenever you run out. And one quick question you might be saying, like, how do I buy Qzx9? Make sure you signed up to the $10 a month professional plan. Increase, if you don't know how to do that, just go into the settings and up your membership. It's very, very simple to do. Once you've done that, guys, once you've run out of Qzx9, it will be like, oh, you can't submit this proposal. You've got 0 Qzx9 left. And it will give you the option to buy more Qzx9. I highly recommend you do it. One thing that's really good as well is a lot of the time it takes it right out the revenue that you're earning in Upwork. So it's not like you ever, unless obviously you've got no money earned in Upwork, it'll take it from your bank. If not, it'll take it directly from your earnings on Upwork, which is quite good because sometimes it's like you never almost really see it leave, and it can potentially lead to loads and loads and loads more business for you. So it's like a win-win. You guys have got to start buying connects. If you're not, you're losing. You're in a scarcity mentality. Start doing it now. If you're struggling for money and you literally cannot afford it, then you know what, wait until you get your first client. But you know, because 30 connects a month will be enough to get, you know, 1-2 clients here and there. But if you really want to scale this, really want to get more, you need to start putting some money in connects, because more money in connects, more leads, more business, makes the world go round, makes the money come in for you guys. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome back today to a brand new video in the course. So today guys, you're probably going to hear me speak about this a lot throughout this course, if you haven't done already, and if you don't follow me on the course and you follow my personal brand on social media, YouTube, things like that, you're going to know that this is one of the biggest things that I push across to everyone. Now you're probably sick of hearing it if you do follow me, but I don't care. I'm telling you again, I'm drilling this into your head, and that is about focusing on IPAs, but also known as income producing activities. Now I'm super passionate about this, like so passionate about this, because a lot of people, you're probably one of those people, or you have been one of those people, because I have myself. We've pretty much all been there. Anyone who's been into business or anything like that tends to focus on things that aren't really that important because it makes them feel busy, it makes them feel productive, but what you're really doing is just doing that to avoid doing the things that are actually important. Because most of the time, the things that are actually important in a business, the things that actually help produce income, are generally the things that are hardest. Because if it was easy, every single person in the world would be rich. But the truth is, it's not easy. Most of the things that produce income for your company are difficult, they're scary, they take hard work. Not necessarily always long hours, but they're hard work, right? Most of the time they are anyway. Now what this means is, guys, you need to just put that mindset to bed. Now, what kind of things are IPAs? What kind of things are income producing activities? Now, I did a video over on my YouTube channel speaking about IPAs, but for all different business models. That's not important here. Today, we're talking about freelancing. We're talking about social media marketing. So what are the IPAs that you guys need to follow? Client acquisition. Reaching out to clients and client acquisition is the only thing, the most important thing that you need to focus on a daily basis. Now, obviously, if you've got clients, you need to get results and things like that. But no matter what you do, you need to spend time and focus the majority of your effort on client acquisition, on getting new clients into the business, because they produce income. They produce income for you, income for your business, income for your company. That's the lifeblood of everything. Because without new clients, you're never going to scale. However, if you can find a way to scale and you focus on these things day in, day out, you're going to earn more money. And it is literally as simple as that. So many people spend too much time avoiding picking up the phone or getting on a phone call or having a meeting with a client because they're scared. And I get that, guys. I've been there. I never used to want to cold call. I never used to want to go door to door. I never used to even want to hop on meetings with clients. I never used to want to do that, ever, right? But instead, because I was a hustler, I used to sit there and build my websites. I used to design my my business cards. I used to set up my own social media for my agency, even though I had no clients yet. I used to focus on all those unimportant things instead of on what really mattered. Getting on the phone with clients, reaching out to clients. In the case of Upwork, submitting proposals, replying back and forth, setting up phone calls. That type of stuff is important. Now, obviously, what's easier to do? Sit down and build a website. What's more beneficial to do? Sit down and set up a phone call with a client, get them on a phone call, ask them about their needs, try and close them, right? Obviously, there's further down the line in this course, we're going to cover sales and closing and all that good stuff. But for now, I really wanted to drill it home. I don't think it needs to be a much longer video than this, just because the amount I talk about it all on my social media. So if you want to hear any more about income producing activities, I'm probably going to cover it a ton throughout the rest of this course, and if I haven't done already. But please, And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying don't focus on other things. I'm not saying don't focus on other things, because you know what? Getting results for clients is important. Outsourcing your work is important. But at the end of the day, especially when you first get started, focusing on these IPAs, you know, and pretty much in what we're talking right now, that is reaching out to clients, setting up meetings, replying to messages to, you know, to potential clients and things like that, right? That needs to be the main priority every single day for you, right? Every single day. All right. Hope that made sense for you guys. You know, like I said, I'm going to drill this home throughout the rest of this course, but IPAs needs to be your main focus every single day, without fail, not just in this course, but in life in general, but especially in this course, right? Set up some meetings, apply for some clients, and let's get it. See you guys in the next one. Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video in the course today. As the title states, we're going to be talking about overheads and keeping overheads low. This is only going to be a short one, but I thought it's something I'd cover because it's actually very, very, very important. Very important, actually. A lot of you guys, well, actually, let's backtrack. One of my favorite things about social media marketing is that you need almost no upfront costs, right? You only have outsourcing costs as soon as you get clients, because you only need to outsource once you have clients. You only need to invest in things like software and tools once you've got clients. So the only overheads you'll ever have really are overheads that you have once you get clients, which is the beauty of this business model. You can never go up in debt starting this. You know, if you were to go and start a restaurant with your best mate or say, you need to put money down. You've got rent due every single month. You've got to buy stock. It's not the case with social media marketing, which is why, in my opinion, it's pretty much the best business model out there, especially when you're just getting started, because of the lack of overheads. Now, one thing I notice a lot of people do, again, another thing like we mentioned before, I've fallen in the trap of it, and I'm sure you have too. Sometimes you get shiny object syndrome. Shiny object, right? What you just think you want to do is, you want to buy this software, you want to buy this software, you want to buy this software, you want to get this website, you want to do this, you want to do this, da-da-da. All of this stuff, you want to buy all of this stuff because you think it will help you. Buy all this camera gear, buy all this camera equipment. The truth is, guys, all of this stuff, all of this software, things like Hootsuite, Sprout Social, things like Grum for Instagram, things like Photoshop, if you want to edit photos. I mean, I recommend Canva, it's free in that anyway, but still, you get what I'm saying. All of this shiny object syndrome where you think you want this and you want that and you want that, only start to get those things once you get your clients. A lot of people, like, you know, I always speak about what I call the website mentality. Everyone thinks they need a website when they need a website, but what they're really doing is avoiding reaching out to clients. Don't be that person, you know, there's a saying where the person that buys all the tennis gear, buys the best armbands, buys the best tennis rackets, buys the best Nadal signed shoes, buys the best headbands, buys hundreds of tennis balls just in case he runs out, buys a backup racket, buys the best case, buys all the DVDs, watches all the DVDs, but never ever goes and plays tennis. Don't be that person with your overheads. Don't, you know, it's like going into a losing battle, right? It's like running into a fight without any armor on, right? It's running into a, running into a gun battle with a knife, whatever they're saying. I don't know. Don't be that person. Don't give yourself overhead before you've even started. Hootsuite, right? There's a free version. With your first client, you could even use the free version if you wanted to. If you're thinking, oh yeah, but you know, how am I going to know how to use it all? You know, how do I know how to get results? Number one, figure it out afterwards if you need to. But number two, lots of these things have free trials. Like I said, Hootsuite has, it's free for the first, for a certain amount of time. I can't remember what the free version gives you, but there is a free version. Like I said, I think Sprout Social has a 2-week free trial. Even things like ClickFunnels have a 2-week free trial. So before you go in and get yourself with all these monthly expenses, you don't need them straight away. If you get a client for $500 a month, and part of that, or $1,000 a month, say, and part of that deal was that you promised that you'd use ClickFunnels, then as soon as you sign the client, you can get ClickFunnels. But don't worry about getting yourself in debt, getting yourself stuck in these having to pay out money before you've got any money coming in. That's so important, guys. I want you to also understand, you want to keep your overhead as low as possible, as low as physically possible. Now, for me, in my opinion, the best social media tool out there, the best social media management tool is Sprout Social. It's got fantastic reporting capabilities. I prefer the layout. It's a lot more professional. Now, it's $99 a month, I think it is. Hootsuite, the professional plan, is $10 a month. If you've got 1 or 2 clients and you're bringing in some money, I'd still recommend keeping your overheads as low as possible and going with Hootsuite. Maybe when you get client 5, client 6, client 7, you want to start doing some professional reporting, you've got more clients to manage, maybe consider going to Sprout Social, because that $99 is a lot smaller of a percentage as the $10 was, if that makes sense. And before you guys get caught up spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds and dollars on Photoshop, just use canva.com for free. So there's lots of things you can do to keep your overheads as low as possible, because imagine all of a sudden, right, you get a client for $500 a month, but you're out, like, you know, by the time you've got all your tools and all that stuff, you've got $400 a month in outgoings. When realistically, you can get by with just these cheaper options. Hootsuite Pro Plan for $10 a month is absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. It's literally amazing. It's got everything you need. Okay, Sprout Social might be better, but in the beginning, you need to be careful with all your expenses. Be careful how much you're paying your outsourcers. Don't overpay them. Don't go buying Photoshop when you can just use Canva, and Canva will do for now. So I hope that, I know it may seem really, really basic, it's just, there's so many people out there, including myself at the beginning, you just get shiny object syndrome. You just want this and you want the best tools and you want the best tools. The truth of the matter is, guys, you honestly don't need it. But anyway, I hope that helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back today to a brand new video in the course. Today guys, this is another thing, a bit like the whole focusing on IPAs thing. This is another point I really like to drive home in all of my videos. If you follow me, you're probably sick of hearing it by now. But this course wouldn't be complete if I didn't speak about it at least once in here and make a whole video on it. So, and that is the importance of smart work versus hard work. Which one's better? Is hard work better? Is smart work better? Now, if you know me, you know my opinion. And without a doubt, I think, well, I know smart work is better. Now, I know there's a load of hustlers out there, loads of people that love to grind. I'm not saying it's hard work isn't important, because hard work has its place. There is a time and there is a place for hard work. And especially when you're getting your business off the ground, you need to work hard. That's a necessity. You need to work hard. However, you need to make sure you're working hard on the right things. And in my opinion, that's why smart work outweighs hard work 1,000,000 to 1. So, have you guys ever heard of the 80-20 principle? It's called like Pareto's law, all right? Basically, what that states is 80% of your results actually only comes from 20% of your efforts. So you could grind it all out, hustle 100%, but you might only get a little bit more results. Whereas if you put 20% effort in, you're probably going to get 80% of the results. So, in regards to this Upwork course, we've spoken about IPAs in another video. That 20% of hard work needs to be on the meetings, your sales process, getting clients, reaching out to clients. That needs to be where you work hard. That's where you need to stay consistent and do it every day. That's where you need to grind. What I call the website mentality. That is where you do not need to grind. There's so many people who sit there and they hustle and they create business cards. They hustle, they create websites. They hustle and they reply to YouTube comments. They hustle and they do all this other stuff. They go to network meetings, network events. They hustle and they do all, free work for everyone and their uncle. Listen to me. Stop doing that. It's all about smart work over hard work. Tai Lopez used a very, very, very good analogy for this. Now, again, I'm probably going to butcher the story, but it goes something along the lines of this. I'm watering it down massively, but the shortened version is this, right? There's all these builders, right? There's 10 builders, and there's 9 of them, right? And these builders, and someone, his boss or something said to him, right, here's a nail. I want you guys to stick this nail in the ground and build this like shed or whatever it is, right? I need you to stick this nail in and build this shed by hand. So, 9 of these guys sit there with their hand, trying to hammer the nail into the wall as hard as possible, grinding 12 hours a day, hustling, hand to nail, blood everywhere, grinding, not sleeping, sweating, right? And then there's this other guy who's just disappeared. No one knows where he is. He's gone for 5 days. Well, like, everyone's thinking, where on earth is that guy? Anyway, on the 6th morning, they're all hustling, still grinding, no closer. I mean, the nail's gone in that much that, you know, there's blood everywhere, that you can see their bones. They've been hustling and grinding so hard. They're tired, they're sleepy, they're literally worn out, but they've been hustling for it, right? This guy number 9, number 10, whatever it is, comes down with a nail gun. Nails everywhere, right? Because he spent the 6 days building a nail gun, right? Where the other guys were sitting there, they were hustling, trying to get that nail in. And the time it's taken him to get like an inch of a nail in, he's gone and he could put in a nail a second. Because what he did, he used tools and he used smart work to get there. And that's, again, I probably butchered the analogy. If you've watched the Ty Lopez video, it's probably completely different. But you guys hopefully understand what I'm saying. Hard work's important if you're doing it smartly. And I'm all about minimum input, maximum output. What's the least I can do to get the maximum rewards out? 80-20, just like we said. What's the 20% of work I can put in to get the 80% out? What's the 10% I can put in to get the 90% out? I literally want to do as minimum as possible in to get the most out. I've got a life to live. I love business. I love building businesses. I love it. It's so enjoyable for me, right? So sometimes I work a little bit more than I need to. However, when I do work, I make sure I'm doing what's important. I'm not focusing on stupid stuff, right? And that's why smart work's better than hard work every time. Now, when I say there's a place for hard work, I really mean there is a place for hard work, as long as it is smart work. Look at me this week, right? So, as of the week of recording this, as the day that I've recorded this now, I announced this course 2 days ago. I already planned all the course out, I already knew what was going to be in it, but I hadn't filmed a video. And I set the deadline for a week from now. This month, I've got, as the time of recording this, 10 new clients. Last week I got something like 3 new clients. So this week I've got to onboard all those new clients. I've got to outsource all of that work. I've got to manage my current business. I've got loads of coaching calls and coaching students. I've got a personal brand to run and upload every day, upload to Instagram, Instagram stories daily, and I've also got 80 videos plus to film for this course. Now, this week is going to be a week where I work very, very, very hard. However, every single thing that I'm doing this week, coaching call, onboarding new clients, reaching out to new clients, filming videos for the course, these are all very important, smart jobs that need to get done. If I was sitting here grinding, building websites, going to networking events, doing other pointless stuff, then I'm getting no further ahead, right? I might be putting in all this extra effort for this amount more reward, or I could put in this much effort and get this much more reward, right? So put in this much initially, get this much, and put in that much more hard work and get that much more back as well. So I hope that sort of drilled at home for you, the whole point of like working smart, not hard. I think working hard has its place, but if you work smart, you've got more free time in a day, start up another venture. Start up a completely new venture. If you're an avid entrepreneur and you have to be doing something, start a new venture, right? Don't spend your time doing pointless stuff and working hard on stuff that's going to get you minimal to little returns, even in the long run. All right, guys, I hope that helped. I know it's a bit longer than I wanted to go on. It was like getting to a 7-minute video, but I've been expecting this to be like 2-3 minutes, but I get so passionate about this topic just because I believe in it so much. Thanks so much for watching anyway. I'll see you guys in the next video.